Hey guys, I was going to go over some of these charts, give you some price targets to the upside and the downside. So if you'll notice, we pushed up, we got perfect resistance right here at this fib channel line, 20,800. This was a video I put out yesterday, December 15th. I gave you some price targets for multiple Bitcoin charts and a bunch of altcoins. Notice my first resistance level I marked off was 19,620, and the next resistance I had above was 20,749. Keep in mind, these are at an angle. The sooner you hit it, the lower price. The longer it takes, the higher price will be. So, if we made contact here at this time, it would have been 20,749. Notice, this right here, this would have been 20,750, but, it took longer to hit it, so this is what it ended up being, 20,800. And again, if you have access to these charts, you'll know exactly when to short because you'll have access to the charts. And you'll know when you make contact. And if you do want to access these charts, guys, the website's optical.crypto.com. The link will be in the description, pinned as the first comment. I have Bitcoin charts, altcoins, precious metals, and stocks, as well as tutorials where I teach you my method, how to create these charts. But again, all these charts are live. Just click the link, they load up. Also, my Twitter is private. Videos take a while to put up. So, if I see something, this is the first place I go to keep you updated. For instance, we were pushing up, and I was saying, look, if we continue up, this is your target, 20,800. This is exactly where we hit and got rejected. I cover other things as well. This, you can see this brown ring. We pushed up, we hit it, got rejected. Looked like we were in this pattern. Said, look, if we push up, we can get a pump. Otherwise, we're coming down to test the bottom of this pattern here. And I do cover other charts as well. For instance, this chart here, I said, look, we were in this pattern right here. If we push up, this is your target, 19,560. You can see we pushed up, we got perfect rejection right here. That is this chart. You pushed up, got resistance, came down to support, resistance, support. Notice we got rejected. As soon as we pushed above it, we got a pump. Notice the volume kicked up. So a lot of times what happens when you're stuck underneath a ring, as soon as you break it, you will get a pump. And that's pretty much what happened on this chart. So if I zoom out, you'll notice this is all the same fib circle here. So, we were finding support, pushed up to the next white ring, pushed up again as resistance, came down to the next white ring, became support and resistance, pushed back up to this white ring again, came down, found support in the white ring below, support. We pushed up, we pushed above this white ring, but notice where we topped out. This fib channel line right here. And this is the amazing thing, is when you have all these charts to compare, you kind of have an idea what price, different patterns price could be in. Notice we topped out right at this fib channel line. And again, notice if I move this fib channel right here, this is the same fib channel line that's connected to this one. So right here, you can see this was resistance, and then we pushed above it, and we hit this one as resistance. So it's possible this is the pattern we could be in right now. I mean, it's too soon to tell. We'll have to see. But it's possible that we could be in this pattern. So we could potentially, come back down, test support, bounce back and forth until we push to the upside, or potentially break to the downside. So let me give you the targets on this chart. So a macro target to the upside to watch right here. This is your next white ring above. So we've been bouncing back and forth between these rings. So your next white ring above is 22,400. You do have resistance right here. This fib channel line will be resistance at 21,775. If we drop your support, a major support, there's been a lot of support and resistance right here. So potentially 19,448. The ring below that we tested multiple times, so this will be support, 18,154. And if you break below this white ring, the next white ring below is right here, around 16,000. So these are your major targets to pay attention to on this chart here. And again, on this chart, I do think this will be a likely top. If we do push above 20,800 and find support, notice this next fib channel line up. This has been resistance, 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 resistance. This was the last high we put in at 19,916. So if we push above this, your next major resistance will be right up here around 21,750, potentially 21,800. Depends on when you make contact. But if this is the pattern we're in, and we just start bouncing back and forth, then by the time we hit it, that price could potentially be 21,800. But do pay attention, if you have access to the charts, to this trend line, because I think it's very likely if you hit this point where we get rejected and come down. Again, according to this chart, your current support is right here at 19,789. Your next support level below. Notice we're respecting fib channel lines in multiple directions. So if we come down, we break 19,789. Your next support is going to be 18,868. Again, this chart here. So I was going to show you some of these published versions of this chart. Before I do, really quick, I do have one more chart I want you to pay attention to. This is the Bitcoin capitulation chart 12/10/19. Notice this fib circle. This is the same fib circle right here. So I had marked this off as a pivot ring in a previous video. Notice when we approach this ring, price rode down this ring. This ended up being resistance, pushing price down. It's very possible this next ring will do the same thing. If we do push up, another target to pay attention to. So if we push up, this ring will be resistance. This is right at 21,000. So if we do push up and watch potentially get rejected and push down this ring, we'll have to see how far it pushes us down. But keep in mind, just like previous rings, if you push above it, you can get a pump. So do pay attention to this chart. I would like to show you these charts. So for instance, this is the BTC 10, 12, 20. So right here, this is what I was talking about in that previous tweet. So we were in this pattern right here. And so if we push up, this is your target. You see how this played out? Resistance, we already had our support. This red trend line right here. Resistance, support, resistance, perfect support. We pushed above it, we got a pump. This chart here, this is the 70220. Again, these are published charts, I can't change these. This is that resistance I gave you, and I said if we push above it, this is your next target. You see how this played out? Let me zoom in a bit. So you can see we pushed up as resistance, came down as support, support. And you see we pushed up, hit this brown ring, got perfect resistance, and then you can see previous resistance becomes support. We pushed up here, now this trend line became support. We pushed up, now we're getting rejected, this trend line above. And then this chart here, this is the one with the white rings. So, and this actually, you know, we pushed above, you see we got topped out right at this fib channel line I just showed you previously. I do have some earlier versions of this chart, just so you can see. This was published on December 3rd. So you can see this is where we got rejected, rejected, support, rejected. So if I hit play, you see we came down, found perfect support, and now this is where we're currently at. So again, guys, these charts are very accurate. Just refer to different charts for different targets. Watch this chart to potentially be a pivot ring. This ring to possibly send us down. Your next major support on this chart, you know, to pay attention to is going to be right here, 18,717. And again, just so you know, if you know, we don't have to be in this pattern. We could push above this, but your first resistance to watch, 21,775, and then a target I'm watching is 22,400, and then these are your lower targets. You know, if we drop down, 19,448, 18,154, and then 16,000 down below. And according to this chart, if we do push above this, you know, 20,800 is our resistance we have to break. We get above that, your next target potentially is around 21,800. And of course, if we can't make it above that, we'll probably come down and test 19,789. But guys, that's pretty much it. If you do want to access these charts, the website's opportcrypto.com. The link will be in the description. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, again, my Twitter's private. You'll have to send me an email. So just click contact on the contact page and then email me. I'll verify you have an account, and then I'll accept your request on Twitter, and I will send you an invite for the Discord link. Guys, that's it. Until the next video, trade safe.